Good evening, everyone. Notice of this meeting stating the date, place, and time has been disseminated as required under the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975. Copies of the agenda are also posted on the city's website and Linden TV for the public. This meeting is now called to order. Mr. Clerk, can you please conduct a prayer and flag salute?
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the event of an emergency, the proper method of exiting the council chambers is through the 3 doors in the rear of the room. Occupants should proceed down the staircase, out the front door, and move away from the front steps. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided in the front of the room with your name and address. In addition, there are sign-in sheets for the public hearing on the Green Acres funding applications. Dorothy Ford Park turf field conversion, that's the green form. George L. Mulkowski Park Jake's Law Playground Accessibility Improvement Project, that is the pink form if you'd like to speak. It's in the front of the room here. Wilson Park Pond Dredging and Aeration Project, that's on the lime green paper. There are also packets on the front table containing information on each of the projects. Please feel free to take one and review it. Further information on the projects had been posted on the city's website. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate. If you must take a call, please leave the council chamber to do so. Mr. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Ormond.
Here.
Javik.
Present.
Caldwell.
Present.
Mohammed.
Present.
Rivas.
Here.
Strano.
Here.
Armstead.
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here.
Hudak.
Here.
Mrs. Yemakaitis.
Here. Could we have approval of the public session minutes of December 17, 2024, please?
I move for approval of the minutes of December 17th, 2024, and ask for a second.
I second.
Mrs. Ormond.
Yes.
Javik.
Yes.
Caldwell.
Yes.
Mohammed.
Yes.
Rivas.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Hudak.
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis.
Yes. Okay, Councilman John Francis Roman has officially resigned as councilman of the 6th Ward. The Linden City Democratic Committee met on January 14, 2025, and has recommended 3 individuals to fill the council seat as per state statute. The individuals are Eloy Delgado, Agnieszka Chevkowska, and Rosario Masaros. Okay, can we, is there a motion for an individual, please?
Madam President, I nominate Eloy Delgado for the 6th Ward Council seat, and I ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond.
Yes.
Javik.
Yes.
Caldwell.
Yes.
Mohammed.
Yes.
Rivas.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Hudak.
Absolutely.
Mrs. Yemakaitis.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to call Eloy Delgado to come forward to be sworn in. Okay. I'd like to call Eloy Delgado Sr. to hold the Bible. Also, Robert Davarona, Selena Edwards, Librado, I hope I'm pronouncing these correctly, Apatano, Aurora Kopsky. Okay, and I'm going to ask Mayor Armstead to please come down and Swear them in. You're going to administer this oath of office, Mayor.
Raise your right hand. I, and state your name,
I, Eloy Javier Delgado de Leon,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform the duties of the office of Sixth Ward Councilperson
perform the duties of the office of Sixth Ward Councilperson
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Uh-oh. Keith's got it. Keith will fix it.
Okay, sorry.
I know this is fourth grade.
Hey, Councilman Delgado, I'd like to ask you to come join us here on the dais. You get a seat right next to me and Councilman Strato. Okay, and at this time, I'd like to ask you if you'd like to say a few words.
That could be a dangerous thing.
Only a few words.
Well, woo! Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor Derek Armstead, members of the council, residents, and to my friends and family. First off, I am truly honored and humbled to have been chosen as a Sixth Ward councilperson. I thank all of you council members, Mayor Armstead, and my dear squad for showing such support and confidence in me. I promise and vow that I will do everything in my power to live up to that faith of confidence. I also want to acknowledge the two other residents who put their names forth to serve the public. Public service isn't easy, and anyone who is willing to serve others deserves to be commended. I promise and vow that I want to work with you and learn from you, because even though I may have this title, it takes all of us working together in order to truly represent the people. I also want to take a moment and acknowledge the service of Councilman John Roman. I thank him for his contributions to the ward and to the city. The residents of the Sixth Ward truly valued him, cherished him, and respected him due to his incredible work ethic. As the mayor said last month, he was a good councilman. And I know he has left big shoes for me to fill, but I promise to do my absolute best to represent the residents of the ward to the best of my ability and live up to the standard of service that has been established. My journey in Linden began over a decade ago when I got hired as an ESL teacher at Linden High School. I was brand new, I didn't know anything about anything, but Linden took a shot on me, and I thrived at the high school. And like many of you could probably relate, when you do good work, your supervisor gives you more work. So I got transferred partially to school number 6. And let me tell you, I was deadly afraid of the little ones. I was very happy and comfortable with the high school, but the little ones absolutely frightened me. But I got paired up with amazing educators, one who is in the audience today, Ms. Cynthia Apolinsky, who taught me the ropes of elementary school and how to really reach our kids. our little ones. School 6 also holds a dear place in my heart because 2 of my nephews are alumni of School 6, and my baby nephew is currently attending School 6. As my role expanded beyond School 6, I was also elected to serve the educators of the Linden Education Association and served as their president for nearly 5 years. And I am honored and truly humbled that many of the LEA members are here tonight. And if you guys don't know, Councilwoman Hudak is also an LEA member. So in addition to my work there, as president, I made sure that we were a positive influence in our community. We sponsored over 20 events every single year, Pride and Fast events, in order to really reach out to our parents and be an integral part of this town. The 6th Ward is a beautiful and vibrant, diverse community. It is the home of beautiful neighborhoods and lifelong residents and newcomers alike. And it doesn't matter whether you live in a single-family home or you are a renter. Every single person in the 6th Ward needs to be valued and cherished, and I promise to do everything in my power to ensure that everyone feels represented. And specifically, I want to address the residents of the 6th Ward, some of them may know me, some of them may not. I know I am not entitled to your support just because I have received this title tonight. I intend to earn your support every single day by working hard on your behalf. Within the next few months, I intend to door knock on everyone's door. I know it's a little cold and you may not want to answer, but I'm going to try. In order to say, how can I help you? What issues need to be addressed? And I know that working together, we're going to continue to make the 6th Ward a great place to live, work, and thrive. Linden is a beautiful and diverse community. We are in an amazing city, and I look forward to working together with everyone here, with working with the residents, in order to make sure that Linden is the best city in the state of New Jersey going forward. So thank you, everyone. God bless you. God bless this city, and I'm truly humbled and honored to serve all of you. And let's get this journey started. Thank you.
Congratulations, Councilman.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. This is the time and place for the public hearing on a Green Acres application for the Dorothy Ford Park Turf Conversion Project. At this time, I'd like to call upon our Recreation Director, Keith Pressey, to present the concept and findings.
Good evening, Linden. My name is Keith Pressey. I serve you as your Director of Recreation. I'm here to inform you that the city is applying for grant funds to improve our park systems. There are 3 grants that we will apply for. Each we have to talk about individually so that you can understand the scope of service, scope of the work that we intend to do. The first one is located at the Dorothy Ford Park. Dorothy Ford Park, to many of you may know it as St. Mark's. St. Mark's. The Dorothy Ford Park is a very, very active park. We host our Pop Warner football there. And also, it was once a baseball field there. Currently, there has been some renovations there. We redid the picnic area. We redid the basketball and also put in a tennis court, and as well as we did the handball court and the small building that's there. The second phase of the project is we would like to install turf. We would like to install artificial turf, so therefore we can increase the utilization of this particular area. Here you will see that the turf will be a multi-purpose field. We will have Little League baseball and softball there, as well as the field is not a 100% or 100-yard field. However, it is a field that our football teams can practice on. So this is the first project, and again, it will help us to increase our recreation services to the city.
Okay. All right, do we have anyone from the public that signed in to speak on this? Okay. All right, can we have a motion then to close the public hearing?
Madam President, I make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed? Yes. Rivas?
Yes.
Delgado?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, the next public hearing on a Green Acres application is for the George L. Malkowski Park, Jake's Law Playground Accessibility Improvement Project. Heath, I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Council President. Again, as you heard mentioned, Jake's Law is one of the grants that is available for all municipalities in the state of New Jersey. That particular grant allows every state to build a fully inclusive, ADA-compliant playground for their residents. However, it's not just the playground that must be fully compliant. We must have a facility, of which we do, that is adjacent to the location of where we're gonna build the playground. It will allow our residents to access the field house where there will be bathrooms, also it's a comfort station, there's also a resting area. Some of the other traits or some of the other characteristics of a Jake's Law playground is the shading. You must have a certain percentage of shading to cover and to protect our kids. You must have a fencing around the playground, as well as the entire playground must be a rubber surface that will allow everyone to navigate and mobilize throughout and navigate and have fun throughout the entire playground system. So this particular program, again, is ADA compliant. It will be a great addition to the Makowski Park. Makowski Park is located on Beaver Street and Park Avenue. Currently, there is an open grass field there with a swing set and a simple exercise equipment at the park. The proposed project will work to install a fully inclusive, this is what you see right here, this blue area. This will be one of the larger ones. This is a larger grant that we are applying for. And this will allow us to do some very good things for our residents.
Okay. Did anyone sign in on the pink sheet? Okay, then can we have a motion, please, to close the public hearing?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on the subject about the Green Acres renovation. Respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Delgado?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, our last public hearing for this evening is on the Green Acres application for the Wilson Park Pond dredging and aeration project. Okay, Keith?
Yes. This grant here for Wilson Pond, Wilson Park, there has been some renovations there, currently with the tennis courts, basketball courts, but however, we're going into another phase, and this grant, stewardship grant, will allow us to dredge our pond. Our pond, we have one of the best ponds in the state of New Jersey, according to New Jersey Fish and Wildlife. We have one of the better ponds, however, we can make it better. We can make it better with the dredging, with better aeration of it, as well as firming up the embankment of the pond with natural plants that will be positioned, strategically located around the entire pond so that it will still allow for fishing. Some of the other things that we will do, if needed, is to firm up the fishing docks and just make a very, very nice attraction for all to enjoy. Again, we have a fishing derby there, we have fishing classes, so this would be a great improvement to our park system.
Okay. All right, do we have anyone sign in on the line sheet? Okay. Can we have a motion then to close the public hearing?
Council President, make a motion to close the public hearing and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Rivas? Delgado?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, now we have a special surprise.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. This is the 100th anniversary of the creation of the city of Linden, when we emerged to incorporate from a borough and a township in 1925. You're going to see a year full of many events. We have a logo that we have that you'll see around town, but this is a very special year for the city of Linden. So I promised our council members at our reorg that they will have a surprise. Thanks to our clerk's office, Mr. Joe Bodak, we brainstormed and we went to the mayor with the idea, how can we do this? We have our first council meeting as the city of Linden. Well, he said, go see Howard Whitmore he's the guy for the job. So we sat him down, we presented him with minutes, a lot of other factual information, and he came up with, I can get my drama club to work on this. So we have our students from the drama club at Linden High School have worked to prepare this little presentation of our first ever council meeting from 1925. Okay, I ask everyone to please pay attention. At that time, we did not have 10 wards. Okay? We had no women sitting on the dais. I'm not sure if Mr. Whitmore used any female, we did actresses, but at that time, there were no females up here. Okay? Yes, Monique, there were no females. And I'd like to ask, pay attention to all the little facts, salaries and things like that. It's very interesting. So it's not a dry meeting of just reading it. He had the kids, and I have a lot of characters up here sitting alongside me, so you're going to see some of that this evening. So I'm going to ask our council members and our department heads to please come down to the floor to view the little film that was prepared.
Gentlemen, we stand on the edge of something great. Linden has grown too large to remain as a separate township and borough. We've built schools, we've paved roads, we've grown in population. Now is the time to take the next step and formalize our future. We have a bustling downtown with an industry, a developing waterfront, and most importantly, a promise of prosperity. It is time to elevate Linden into a city. Our streets, our schools, and our economy, they all demand it. The people demand it.
But George, does this change mean more taxes, more noise, and disturbance?
We're stepping into unfamiliar territory without knowing what this can mean.
It means more power, more control over our own future. We have the chance to become a city.
And it's cheaper to run one government than two with a township and a borough.
A city, huh? That sounds prestigious. Linden has never been fancy, but I'll admit the industries are thriving and our community is growing.
A new railroad station, the oil refinery, and the rise of factories, they're bringing in more people from the outside.
Maybe it's time we take that step.
Exactly. It's time to declare that we are a city, a place where our children can grow, where industry can flourish, where the dreams of all who live here can take root.
All right, let's take a vote. Do we want Linden to be a city?
Then it's settled. Linden will become a city. The people will soon know that Linden is destined for greatness. Good morning, everyone. It is my honor today here at School Number 1 at 11 o'clock a.m. on the 1st of January in the year 1925 to swear in the first Mayor Council at large and the members of the Common Council for the City of Linden. This is a momentous occasion, and we are here to lay the foundation for the future of this great city. If you will all repeat after me. I, Mayor George McGilvery,
Thomas A. Archerplay of the 1st Ward,
William Nicola for the 2nd Ward.
Charles Casper for the 3rd Ward,
John J. Vanderwall for the 4th Ward,
Stephen Carr for the 5th Ward.
Edward M. Wallace for the 6th Ward,
Harry McDaniel for the 7th Ward,
James Bursey for the 8th Ward.
Leon A. Watson, Councilman at Large,
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform all the duties of my office.
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God. I call this inaugural meeting of the Common Council of the City of Linden to order. First, I want to thank all of you for your trust in me as your mayor. Linden is now a city, and with that comes responsibility. We will ensure that our streets are clean, our schools are strong, and our industry is supported. The city belongs to all of us. Today, we have several matters to discuss. The most important being the appointments of temporary chairman, a city clerk, and other critical positions, and we need the right people to ensure that our finances and records are properly managed.
I move that Mr. Watson be appointed temporary chairman.
Seconded.
Aye. Alrighty then, I accept and propose Tom and Chase Sullivan for city clerk. Any objections? Seeing none, congratulations, Tom, on being our first city clerk at a salary of $2,700 per year.
Wow.
Now, gentlemen, we need to elect a permanent president.
I nominate Mr. Watson, president of the council.
Seconded. I nominate Mr. Vanderwall, President of the Council.
Seconded. Gentlemen, I do not like to see the action that is being taken. Furthermore, I have no intention of seeking the presidency of this council.
So, how do you vote?
Aye.
No. Mr. Watson, having received a majority vote, is hereby declared our first council president.
Nine long hours later, we finally adjourned that first meeting, having just begun to carve out the new ordinances and departments that would make the city of Linden work.
We've made it to be official, but there is so much more to do. Now the real work begins.
And generations will see the city grow and change. Our children and their children's children will continue this path towards greatness.
Growing the community, thriving in diversity, and embracing the progress we have started to make.
Linden has a future to build and a legacy to leave. A city that is big enough to lead, but still small enough to care.
Howard, I'd like to thank you for all your efforts in doing that. It was very nice. We thank you. I'll send a note over to the students to thank them. I'm hoping we'll show it maybe in the school system as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your efforts. Okay. And as you saw, our first mayor was Mayor McGilvery. Okay, many of you know McGilvery Place. I live on McGilvery Place. We have McGilvery Park. But the 8th Ward was one of the original wards in the city, one of the oldest areas, along with Trembley, the 7th Ward. But we have someone here tonight that's related to Mayor McGilvery, okay? It's granddaughter, correct? Great niece, okay. Great niece of Mayor McGilvery, Cynthia Apolinski, okay? So, as you can see, as Councilman Delgado mentioned, she's an educator in our city. Our roots run deep in this city. So, again, Howard, thank you so much. You know, we appreciate very interesting, the salaries and how the whole city was formed. So, we thank you.
The kids really enjoyed doing it too.
I'm glad they did.
They learned a lot that they didn't know about the town that most of them have lived in their whole life.
It's interesting. That's what's important about this centennial celebration, so thank you. Okay, there are no ordinances on hearing this evening, so we'll move on to the consent agenda items. All items listed with asterisks are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted with one motion. Okay, can we have a motion, please, on items number 1 through 6?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a motion to accept consent agenda items 1 through 6 and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Delgado?
Abstain.
Strano?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we'll now move on to governing body reports, beginning with Councilwoman Ormond in the first ward, please.
Okay, my first report, Council President, will be the Budget Review and Finance Committee report. Approval is requested for the following finance actions. The payment of bills totaling $1,600,195.06. Bills have been signed by the Mayor, Council President, and Finance Chairwoman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the Clerk's office. We are in receipt of investments made by the City Treasurer for the month of December at the rate of 3.96%. I move for approval and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Delgado?
Abstain.
Strano?
Abstain.
Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, continue, Councilwoman.
The Division of Transportation and Properties, I hereby submit the monthly financial report from the Division of Transportation and Parking for the month of December 2004. This report includes a collection of on- and off-street parking meters, railroad parking lots, railroad parking permits, and merchant parking permits. The Trenton side collections, $1,508. New York side collections, $1,322. Railroad credit card transactions, $25,828.86. Railroad permits, $768. Railroad mobile payment parking, $11,976. Online railroad permits, $11,142. Parking meter collections, $4,014.50. Merchant permits, $5,250, for a grand total of $61,809.36, submitted by Tyrone L. Gibbons, the Traffic Maintenance Supervisor. Now, I'm just going to briefly just give a little bit of a little ward report. It is the new year, and Happy New Year to everyone. This is my first official report. I'd like to start off by telling everyone thank you for taken very good care of our property during the first snowstorm with the snow removal. Traditionally, we have a lot of people that will shovel the snow back onto the streets, but this year, not in our ward, it was pretty good. So thank you for not throwing the snow back in the streets, and just remember that we do have certain sides of the streets in the ward, especially DeWitt, that you're not allowed to park on when there's any type of snow removal. We also have our new sanitation schedules that come out. It hasn't changed, but I do want to make note for all the new people that have moved into the neighborhood that there are certain days which certain cans go out. We have sanitation, which is a green can that goes out once a week, and every other week we alternate with the cardboard and the recycle cans. We have 3 bulk pickup days a month, and you will get 1 extra free bulk day if you do need it. So I'm kindly asking to let's maintain the quality of life in our community. Do not pull furniture, beds, or any large item out to the curb because you would like to get rid of it. A simple phone call to me, I will be more than glad to call our Department of Public Works to have them come and remove it off the curbside. With that in mind, also just be respectful of our neighbors, noise, your pets, your dogs, everything. We're off to a great start so far for the year 2025, and I'd like to keep it that way. I'd like to let you know that I'm going to continue to serve you as your council person. I'm approachable, reachable. My telephone number is 908-370-6482. Once again, 908-370-6482. And I can also be reached at lormon@lindennj.gov. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Javik.
Yes, Council President. Thank you. As chairman of the Fire Committee, the Fire Prevention Bureau collected the following monies during the month of December 2024, a total of $5,201.18. Regarding our Linden Fire Department ambulance billing, the amount of $99,837.38 for December 2024 have been added to the total deposits for 2024, totaling $1,102,368.52. Regarding our Construction Code Department, this department has issued 250 permits and processed 34 certificates and has issued 77 summonses for the month of December 2024. Monthly revenue is as follows. Building CCO permits and additional permit fees, $172,393. Zoning, $1,975. Court settlements for the month, $33,800. The reflective total being $208,168. Regarding an update here from our Board of Health, over the last month, there has been steep increases in emergency department visits and hospitalizations for COVID-19, influenza, predominantly A, H1N1, and RSV. In addition, highly pathogenic avian influenza, HPAI, also known as H5N1 virus, also known as bird flu, is a virus that has been circulating in wild birds worldwide. It is causing outbreaks in poultry and more recently in dairy cows in the United States. It is suspected to have caused the deaths of multiple wild birds across several states, including New Jersey. While H5N1 can infect humans, CDC has declared that the ongoing outbreak is primarily an animal health issue that poses low risk to the health of general public at this time. To date, in New Jersey, cases have only been identified in birds, with no cases detected in any dairy cattle and no human cases. H5N1 also poses a risk to cats that have exposure to raw unpasteurized milk, dairy products, or raw undercooked meats. Cats are highly susceptible to HPA1, resulting in severe illness or death. Feline deaths to date include a domestic cat in Oregon after consuming raw commercial frozen turkey pet food, 20 big cats, including cougars and a Bengal tiger, in a Washington animal sanctuary, and several domestic cats in California after consuming recalled raw milk. The Board of Health shared this information with Friends of Linden Animals, FOLA, because of their work primarily involves mainly with cats, and their facility is located next to the Audubon Hawkeye Bird Sanctuary. For more information, the state has a comprehensive website with the latest information on H5N1. That's http, what's the slash? www.newjersey.gov/H5N1. Also, the Board of Health will be doing again a free rabies vaccination clinic. The first one will be Saturday, May 3rd, 10 to 2 p.m. at Firehouse Number 2, which is on 302 West St. George Avenue. Thursday, May 8th, 4 to 8 p.m. at Firehouse Number 3, 102 East Elizabeth Avenue. And Monday, May 12th, 4 to 8, Firehouse Number 1, 302 Southwood Avenue. For safety, all dogs must be leashed and all cats must be in carriers. Any other questions on that? Call the Linden Health Department, 908-474-8409. Good evening, everyone. So in my ward, speeding has become an obsession in the second ward. We have had several more accidents from cars exiting Stiles Street to get to Wood Avenue and the other way around. I'm going to ask our police department to check into the possibility of installing more stop streets and rumble strips in these speeding corridors to stem the flow of speeders on our streets. Also, in our ward, I'd like to congratulate the Texera family from Miltonia Street, who were the winners of our annual holiday house decorating contest. We appreciate them for lighting up Linden and making our town more festive for the holidays. I am planning also on having a second and third ward community meeting on March 26th at the Linden Library. 25th? Oh, okay, March 25th at the Linden Library Columbian Room at 6:30 p.m. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there. Wishing all many blessings in the new year, and may God bless America. I can be reached at 908-494-4608 or email me at bjavick@linden-newjersey.gov. On Facebook, Second Ward Councilman Barry Javick. As always, additional information can be found on our City of Linden website. Council President, interim report.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Okay, Councilwoman Caldwell.
Thank you, Council President. Dear neighbors, I hope this message finds you in good health and great spirits as we welcome a new year filled with hope and promise. I am pleased to inform you that the ongoing street sweeping issue has been addressed and an action plan is now in place to rectify the situation. The progress is thanks to the collaborative efforts of Councilman Strano and Council President Yamakaitis and our dedicated Department of Public Works. Your patience and understanding during the time have been greatly appreciated. We are confident that the action plan will ensure our streets are clean and well-maintained, enhancing the quality of life in our community. I am excited to announce that we have a community meeting scheduled for March 25th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. It will be held at the Linden Public Library in the Columbia Room on the 3rd floor. The library is located at 31 East Henry Street, Linden, New Jersey. I encourage you all to attend as we come together to discuss our community's progress and future initiatives. As we step into the new year, let's focus on the positive and to continue to build a supportive and compassionate community. A simple act of kindness can go a long way. Be kind to your neighbors. Lend a helping hand, and let's make 2025 a year of unity and improvement. I would like to extend my gratitude to the Department of Public Works for their swift response and assistance with the recent dumpster issue. Their hard work and dedication to our community does not go unnoticed. Our collective goal remains to ensure the highest quality of life for all of our residents. As your councilwoman, I am committed to being a part of the solution. I am here to listen, to support, and to take action on issues that matter most to you. Please remember, you can always reach out to me at 908-531-0676 or email me at linden-newjersey.gov. I'm here to serve and work with you and make sure that the third ward is a better place for everyone. Together we can achieve great things. Let's make this year even better than last. Remember, Councilwoman Caldwell always follows up and follows through. and I will be seeing all of you soon. And I want to congratulate Councilman Eloy Delgado, and just know my number is there for you too if you have any questions. And I want to thank my neighbor Howie, who I grew up with down the street, that lived in Fourth Ward. We grew up in Fourth Ward, but we live in Third Ward, and that was an excellent presentation. And thank you all for all your support. That concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Muhammad.
Good evening, Council President and audience, citizens of Linden. I first and foremost want to congratulate the President of the United States, Donald John Trump. This is not a political statement. This is a statement of patriotism to the United States of America. We heard the city clerk reading the prayer, and we are a nation under God. And let's pray that it stays that way and that we adhere to the Constitution. With respect to the ward, we recently had an incident, a mental health incident, and I'm very thankful that Linden Police Department has an excellent mental health unit. You know, mental health is no longer just a epidemic, it has become a pandemic. I recently started training in psychoanalytic therapy in New York at the Blantonfield Institute, and next year I'll be able to see patients. But I want to thank the police department. Chief, you get a salute for creating that mental health unit. One of the residents had a very difficult time, and some of you, I don't know whether you've ever dealt with family members that are mentally ill. It is very difficult to have them committed or to get them to go to the hospital. And unfortunately, sometimes the police department is not trained. But we have a special unit in Linden to deal with that. So we should congratulate, we should thank God for that kind of effort. Because as I said, mental health is a pandemic situation. Moving along to the ward that's closer to home, in the Fourth Ward, we have had a phenomenal workload fulfilled by the Department of Public Works. We have had, you know, the snow and the streets were salted, sanitized, whatever they put on the streets. But it was a great, we were able to get through it with no difficulty. I can be reached at 908-463-4843. Call me for your concerns, and may God bless America. God bless the city of Linden. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Muhammad. Councilman Rivas.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, citizens of Linden, neighbors of the Fifth Ward. I'd like to start my report saying that I wish that we have received this new year filled of good, prosperous intentions and best hopes for all of us to have a great year coming up on all of us. I also want to inform our residents that we also going to have some public hearing acreage funding for our parks. That is something that the Department of Recreation is working for all the wards in the city of Linden. So I was happy to be part of the presentation, the community presentation that happened at our ward, and I am pleased with the work that is being performed in all these renovations of our parks. I would like to ask to please continue to look out for each other. We have a beautiful city. We have a beautiful neighborhood in the Fifth Ward, and I'd like to say that throughout the time that I go and drive around the city, I see the same thing in our city. I came to this city 20 years ago, and from the moment that I arrived to the city, I felt proud to be in a city that provide me with safety and provide me with the quality of life that we, all of us, strive to thrive in order to provide to our constituents. I'd like to continue to say that this city could not move forward without the great work of every one of our employees. I'd like to thank them, continue to thank them for everything that they do every day. To our public service work, to our public works department, great work with this particular snow weather circumstances that we had out there. And I love to see our teachers out there. I love to see that you are here tonight, and not only supporting Eloy, welcome to our city council. I had the opportunity to also work together with you when I was representing the city in the Board of Education. It was a sincere pleasure for me to have served the city in that term, as well as at the time when I met you, Eloy, and we had many of discussions and conversations on how we can continue to move the city forward. We are committed. We're committed to continue to keep Linden moving forward, and only with your help, and only with each one of you holding us accountable to everything that we do, we can fulfill that goal. You can reach me at 201-805-7652 or at crivas@linden-nj.gov. Thank you, and that concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Delgado.
I know I took up a lot of time before, but thank you again, everyone. So before I forget this part, any resident could reach me at 908-377-6620. Email will be setting up, and look out for ways on social media as well to also be able to reach me. I would be neglectful if I didn't give a giant shout out to the Linden Education Association and to the educators in the House today. I would not be here today if it weren't for all of you. You taught me how to serve. You truly taught me how to serve. I am looking forward to taking all the skills I learned there and helping and serving and representing the residents of the 6th Ward. Like I stated before, I know I am not entitled to anything. I must earn it every single day, and I'm going to work very hard to earn the trust and support of the residents of the 6th Ward by representing them to the best of my ability. I look forward to serving all of you. Thank you to our police department, our fire department, all our municipal employees as well. Your work does not go unnoticed. DPW, thank you so much. And that's it. God bless everyone, and thank you again.
Thank you. Okay, Councilman Strano.
Thank you, Council President. I have the personnel report for this month. Number one, the Police Department is approving the appointment of Daniel Echevarria, police recruit full-time effective January 2nd, 2025, with the annual salary of $45,521 and subject to successful completion of the city's pre-employment requirements. Number two is in the Department of Community Services. In the Division of Public Works, A is approving the resignation of good standing for John Montoya, truck driver, effective January 9th, 2025. B is approving the posting for one truck driver, Tier 2, full-time at the salary range of $22 to $36.37 per hour. C is approving the posting for 3 laborers, Tier 2, full-time at the salary range of $19.32 to $34.37 per hour. D is approving the posting for 1 mechanic, Tier 2, full-time at the salary range of $18 to $49 an hour. In the Division of Engineering, approving the posting for 2 assistant engineers, full-time at the salary range between $54,000 and $92,463. B is approving the seasonal list that is on file in the clerk's office. 3 is the new Office of our Construction Code, approving the separation of employment for Uniqua Weeks, Clerk 1, following the end of her working test period effective January 3rd of 2025. And B is approving the posting for Clerk 1 full-time at that annual salary range of $37,298 to $64,807. 4 is the new Office of the Mayor, approving the voluntary resignation of Alex Lasminosa as Chief of Staff effective February 1st of 2025. B is approving the designation of Tyra Chapman as the VCS Administrator with a yearly stipend of $5,000, which will be prorated, and it's effective February 1st of 2025. 5 in the Fire Department, approving the amended start date for Kimberly Sassarak, Clerk 2, to January 6th of 2025. 6 in the Recreation Division, approving of the seasonal list that's on file with the City Clerk's Office. And 7 is approving the FMLA/NJFLA leaves that are on file in the Division of Personnel. And B is approving the amendment to the city policy manual. And C is approving the minimum wage increase to $15.49 per hour. Move for approval, and I request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes to all, no on 7B.
Which one, sir?
7B.
Delgado?
Abstain.
Strano?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Continue, Councilman Strano.
Thank you, Council President. At this time, I'd like to send a shout out to all our employees in our DPW for what I consider to be an outstanding job. We did not have a major snowstorm. It was probably on the low side of what they had predicted, but in all cases, I think our roads were in pretty good shape considering the conditions and the type of storm. When those overnighters are just, they're just a bear to deal with. You know, and this Department of Community Services includes our departments of, or divisions of public properties, you know, as well as our mechanics garages and even our engineering department. They all play a part, you know, in making sure that, you know, our emergency services can get through when we have these kind of conditions. And I just want to acknowledge them for that. And outside of that, I don't have anything else to add. My information is available on the city website. I don't give out my personal cell phone number, but you can reach me at my home at 908-862-5097. That phone number has been posted for like 30 years or maybe long, I don't know. But you can get me there, and we do return your calls. I am retired. I'm home most of the time. I would be able to get those calls live, but in the case I don't, you can leave a message, and we will get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Armstead.
Yes, thank you, Council President. Very brief today. I just wanted to also give major kudos to the DPW. These guys work so hard in the community, you wouldn't even realize how hard they work. You know, there has not been one time since I've came on this council that I've made a call and said, hey, we have a problem here, we have a problem there, that they didn't jump right up and get the problem solved. Saltwood, we had some extra icy roads before the snowstorm. All it took was a phone call. DPW is out there to take care of it. If there's trash in your streets or junk, any kind of garbage, you give a call, DPW is there. So we should really appreciate the hard work that they do for us, because they definitely do a lot of work for us. As far as the 8th Ward, I would just like to let everybody know from the Allen Street, Bachelor Avenue, Meacham, Greer, in that area, there are parking permit applications that are coming out to your homes. Everybody doesn't have them yet, but some of the people are getting them. I just also wanted to say this is a solution to the problem, but it's not going to happen immediately. The solution is not going to work immediately like tomorrow. It's going to take some time for everybody to get their permits, get them on their cars and park them, and then we can go to the next step and make sure that the proper cars are parked on these streets. Other than that, I have nothing else. I just want to let you know I can be reached at 908-463, almost forgot my number there for a second, 8986. I do prefer phone calls instead of emails, and I do return everybody's phone call that calls me. That's all I have for today.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Okay, Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, all. As winter settles in, it's important for us all to ensure our community remains safe and accessible. Please make it a priority to keep sidewalks clear of ice and snow. This simple act helps prevent slips and falls, ensuring that everyone, including our elderly neighbors and those with mobility challenges, can move around safely. Additionally, I urge everyone to avoid walking or skating on Wilson Pond. While the ice may appear solid, it is currently unsafe and poses a significant risk. Your safety is our top priority, and we want to prevent any accident during these cold months. Lastly, I want to congratulate our 6th Ward Councilman, Mr. Delgado. I have no doubt in my mind that you will do great and make positive impacts in our community. Let's work together to make this winter a safe and enjoyable season for everyone in our community. Thank you for cooperating and your commitment to keeping Linden a safe place to live. Stay warm and safe. That concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Hudak?
Thank you. So recently, there has been some sightings of the wildlife in the 10th Ward, and the Associated Humane Society of Newark has been contacted. Unless there is an attack or an incident of wildlife, they will not respond, and there are more incidents of dogs than there are wildlife. And also, I'm going to ask everyone to keep our Linden police officers in your thoughts and prayers. We've had recently several of them deployed so they can continue protecting our freedoms. And as we all know, our freedom is not free. So please always keep them in our thoughts and prayers. And if you have any concerns or if there's any infraction in your life, please call me or email me, because I am the 10th Ward Councilwoman. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Okay, I just have a few little notes. I want to welcome and congratulate our new councilman, Councilman Delgado. Please reach out to me, anything you need. I will be setting up a meeting with you to go over some of the Council 101. Okay? Also, I want to make mention, we have a blood drive sponsored by our Linden Fire Department on February 6th from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Tremley Point Recreation building, which is on Tremley Point Road. So please consider going and donating blood. Many of my colleagues here mentioned Public Works and the recent snowstorm. I just want to add, they did a great job, but I also want to add, this was basically the maiden voyage for a lot of them. We have not had any snow in, I believe, 2-3 years. So we have many new truck drivers, employees, that this was their first time out. So they did a great job. So thanks again, Public Works. All right, Mayor?
Yes, thank you, Council President. First, I'd like to make some announcements about some of the projects that we have going on in town here. 620 North Style Street, my office had received several calls about what's going on at the property, and it's adjacent from the Superfresh. I'm happy to announce that we have a BBQ Korean chicken that will be coming to this location. Weather pending, of course. The owner hopes to start full construction by late winter, early spring, and perhaps opening in the summer, fall. This property has been vacant for almost a decade. I'm happy to finally see some progress here. Next, the Cantor property on 1 and 9 in Stiles. The city is thankful that the trucks are finally going at this property. Our Economic Development Director, Alex Laspinoso, has been in contact with the owner of these properties, and we're excited to see what site plans may come to the planning board in the upcoming months. The property has been a vital property on my redevelopment agenda since day one of taking office as your mayor, and the city is grateful that we did not have to go and utilize condemnation powers to get something going at this property. At Legacy Square, we have a Holiday Inn Express on 1 and 9, right next to the Cantor property that I just mentioned. The developer has some delays in reference to the developer has some delays as a result of some electrical supplies and getting power to the location. However, we plan to have a ribbon cutting ceremony in the late winter. So as a reminder, this project has been delayed since the pandemic. However, the developer stuck with the city during those dark days and will continue and will hopefully have this business open within the next couple of months. Legacy Square, which is also the Holiday Inn right next to Legacy Square, developer has signed three new tenants this year. The three new tenants are Duck's Donuts, Blaze Pizza, and Dave's Hot Chicken. As of now, we continue to occupy or almost meet full occupancy at this particular location. I think Legacy Square is a testament to Linden's thriving local economy, and I'm happy to be a part, of course, and as the mayor, we will continue with our redevelopment efforts there. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to congratulate Eloy Delgado. You know, this is a win-win for the city. This is a great choice. This guy is full of energy, and I can tell you, I am so confident he's going to do a good job. You know, this was not a hard decision, I want you to know. From the second that we started talking about having a new 6th Ward councilman, your name surfaced, and it wasn't difficult because I've seen you in action. I've seen some of your work before. I see how the enthusiasm that you put into everything that you do. So I am confident that you're going to be not just a good council person, you're going to be a great council person. And again, whether you addressing residents who live in their homes or whether you address those residents who live in those apartments, I know you're going to be responsive, and you're going to do a great job, because that's just who you are. You just got your bundle of energy, man. You're a welcome addition to this council, and you understand government, and you understand what it takes to get things done. So God bless you, and I wish you the best.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. And many of you might have noticed we have our new addition to the dais here, our business administrator. After many years of, waiting for it, we finally have Ms. Clark is here this evening, our new BA, so we welcome you.
And you'll have to forgive me because I did announce her at the last meeting, but she's Linden born, you know, and we love our Linden residents, and she knows the town. Her family is still in town here, and we're very confident that she's going to do a great job, and she's going to take a little pressure off of me. As most of you know, I have been the mayor, this is my 11th year, and I've gone without a BA for 10 years, and it's been very difficult, but we somehow managed to get things done. Maybe I like to micromanage a little bit, I don't know. But I just think that now having a little bit of help in the office, a lot of help in the office, a lot more help in the office, it will give me a little time to maybe to spend some time with my family and enjoy some of the things that normal people do. Okay. So God bless you and good luck. I know she's going to do a great job.
Thank you. Okay, we'll now move on to resolutions. We have resolutions. We have an additional resolution, which our clerk is going to read in a minute, but I want to make note on Resolution 2025-18. The council met in caucus this evening, and they decided on Councilman Barry Javik to be the member of the governing body for the planning board. For 2025-19, appointed Councilman Mark Armstead as a member of the governing body for the Linden District Management Corporation, or SID. And 2025-21, for our Cultural and Heritage Commission, Councilwoman Lisa Ormond. Okay, and we have an additional walk-on resolution this evening, which our clerk will read.
We're going to do the other ones first.
Oh, we'll do the other ones first? Okay. So we'll start with number 18 to 112. Can I have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President. I move for approval of consent items 2025-18 to 2025-112 and request a second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas?
Yes.
Delgado?
Abstain.
Strano?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
I abstain on number 80, and yes to the rest. Okay?
Council President, point of order.
Yes.
I have to abstain on 46.
Okay?
Resolution authorizing agreement between the City of Linden and Selective Benefit Group to provide retirement planning specialist services for Mass Mutual and Power Deferred Compensation Plan. Whereas the City of Linden offers deferred compensation plans for its employees in an attempt to attract and retain qualified employees by providing them with an opportunity to enhance their financial security at retirement through savings of compensation on a deferred basis as provided by Section 457 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended, the code. And whereas there is no direct financial cost to the City of Linden to adopt and implement an employee deferred compensation plan and service agreement. And whereas a request for qualifications for a retirement planning specialist services was prepared and made available to vendors, the made written request for proposal from Selective Benefit Group. And whereas the following contractors submitted written proposals, Selective Benefit Group. Whereas after reviewing the proposals, it was determined that Selective Benefit Group has the ability to, 1, maintain complete records of accounts, 2, manage accounts with absolute fidelity, 3, provide advice concerning various categories of investments, and 4, provide continuing consultation to participants. And whereas there have been no collusion or evidence of appearance of collusion between any local official and a representative of the contractor in the selection of a contractor. 4th, the administration of a service agreement pursuant to NJAC 5:37-5.7. Be it further resolved that the Derek Armstead, Mayor of Linden, is hereby authorized to enter into a service agreement with Selective Benefit Groups to provide retirement planning services, and it is hereby acknowledged that the deferred compensation plan is substantially similar to one on which a favorable private letter ruling has been previously obtained from the Federal Internal Revenue Service, except for provisions added by reason of the Small Business Job Protection Act of 1996 and the Economic Growth and Tax Relief Reconciliation Act of 2001, and all such provisions are stated in the plan in terms substantially similar to the text of those provisions in the Internal Revenue Service Code, Section 457. The use of the ruling is for guidance only and acknowledges that for the Internal Revenue Service purposes, the ruling of another employer is not to be considered precedent. Be it further resolved that pursuant to NJAC 5:37-5.4, Executive Director is hereby designated as the local plan administrator for the administration of the Mass Mutual Empower Plan. Be it further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution and all necessary required documents shall be submitted to the Director of the Division of Local Government Services within the State Department of Community Affairs for approval.
Okay, can we have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President. I move for approval of consent item 2025-113. I request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Rivas? Delgado?
Abstain.
Strano?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes. We'll now move on to ordinances on first reading, beginning with ordinance 69-1.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999." Passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 7 traffic shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. 7-33 handicap parking regulations, 7-33.1A handicap parking on street, add 631 East Henry Street 1 space, 2139 Dill Avenue 1 space, and 2512 Summit Terrace 1 space.
Okay, can we have a motion for introduction of ordinance 69-1, please?
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance 69-1 and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed?
Yes.
Rivas? Delgado?
Yes. Abstain.
Strano?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Ordinance 69-2, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 26 Flood Damage Prevention of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999." Passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden, Section 1, that Chapter 26 Flood Damage Prevention shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Chapter 26 Flood Damage Prevention, Article 1, Floodplain Management Regulations, Section 102.2, Establishment of Flood Hazard Areas.
Okay, can we have a motion, please, to introduce ordinance 69-2?
Council President, I move ordinance 69-2 for introduction. Request a second.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Yes. Mohammed? Yes. Rivas? Yes. Delgado?
Abstain.
Strano?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we'll now move on to comments from members of the public in attendance on city business only. No personal, political, or derogatory comments, not to exceed 3 minutes. Okay, we'll start with Craig Halloran.
Craig Halloran, 120 Donaldson Place. First of all, Happy New Year to everybody. I would like to extend my thank you to the fire department and the police department to responding to my call to a house that had a broken pipe and water was coming out of it on my street, I believe 117 Donaldson. So please thank your crews that came out. They did a nice job, shut the water off, and now we have a house that's probably full of mold. Okay, so before any building permits for this house gets done, I would suggest that a good inspection by our construction code people might be in order, because from what I understand, I didn't go on the property, there was a lot of water in there. One of my neighbors across the street that lives next to this house came to my house to report that she heard a lot of water in the basement. So there has to be a major problem with the pipes and a lot of water in this house, so please, let's get it inspected, because the person that owned it, from what I understand, they just wanted to rehab the inside and flip the house and make some money. So again, thank you to the police department and the fire department. I also would like to welcome all the new people in our city government. I'm looking forward to working with everybody, and I believe that's all I have. And thank you, Council President, for forwarding the request from other people. And again, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Okay, Darrell Sadler. Okay, please just state your name and address for the record.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Darrell Sadler, 104 East Elizabeth Avenue, Parkline Condominiums. Good evening again to the council. Congratulations to the new councilman. I don't want to mispronounce people's names. I got a problem. I'm still working on yours. But basically, I'm just here to say thank you. I was here last month, and I mentioned the issue with recycling pickup. Immediately, my councilwoman, Caldwell, she got on it that night and back and forth, but DPW responded immediately. We have a good working relationship. And I just want to say thank you, and I just want to echo what some of you guys already said, how quickly they responded, and everything was taken care of. So I just basically came out. I wouldn't have came tonight because of the cold, but I had to come to let you guys know thank you so much, and I appreciate everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ed Kaminsky.
Ed Kaminsky, Maple Avenue. Good evening, everybody. You know, obviously a lot of news yesterday, holiday, but as I think back over the last couple of weeks, obviously what's taken over the headlines has been that tragic story out in California, the fires. So I always ponder, obviously lifelong Linden resident, like, are we prepared? Maybe not. There's different issues, different circumstances, but just going back to COVID and really the really horrible response that unfortunately Linden had and what we've done, especially compared to neighboring towns, I wish we'd spend more time on that and preparing for these different emergencies. I mean, even to this day, COVID really, if we got hit by another situation like that, we're still ill-prepared and have no place for our businesses to go. I've talked to some of the business owners, and some of their stories are just heartbreaking in dealing with some on the dais and just getting basic and common sense stuff done. So please. Development, again, I take the train every day, you know, and with the backdrop that we spent $3 million, okay, plus on the sidewalks widening going to the train station from here, and that it's getting all eaten up again. And it was done all in the name of safety. So that building is literally going to the edge of Wood Avenue. It's dangerous for people to walk there. I don't know what that monstrosity is going to look like when it's done, but obviously the whole spirit of spending millions of taxpayer dollars to redo the sidewalks wasn't met. And I also hope, and I'm kind of bummed out, although it's not done yet, to see, you know, take this opportunity for that development. We keep giving things away to the developers. Could they build a bridge so people can get off the train platform safely? So, you know, I doubt it, but interested in the answers. And then lastly, you know, I brought this up last time. I got a lot of blank stares back. Nobody said anything. Nobody knew about it, like this apartment fee. I did conflate two things. There were two different things I was talking about in my comments. It was the fee that some taxpayers got hit with last year, a very expensive one, which was the lead pipe fee, which is separate from this apartment fee, for lack of a better term. It was just brought up last week again. Mr. Armstead knows, in the rent leveling meeting, the secretary there is getting a lot of calls, and nobody knows anything. None of the council people know anything. I talk to people in the city, they don't know anything, but yet these notices are going out. I didn't get one myself, that there's going to be, that unfortunately our taxpayers once again are getting whacked, which just boggles my mind, but you know, government works like that, unfortunately, sometimes. So looking for any kind of explanation what this is, you know, who's subject to it. Of course, I'm assuming that for both these, that the new developments are, of course, exempt, as they normally are, but interested to really get some feedback. Thank you.
Okay. Amy, would you be able to give a little bit of feedback? Thank you.
So to answer some of your questions, and feel free to come down to the Board of Health and speak to us. We've inherited this program. My understanding is this is an ordinance that's been on the books since 2018, and it was noticed that it wasn't being enforced. It's a program that it's supposed to only apply to rental properties that have fewer than 5 units under one roof. The DCA does cyclical 5-year inspections of buildings that have more units than that, above that, but there's properties with less than that that don't get inspected at all. And I think that was the goal of that ordinance at that time, to try to fill in that gap. So this is a program that I can't say I'm an expert in it, but again, we're going to be doing the best that we can to try to get communication out. We're working on an online module that people can just register and pay the fee and then schedule an inspection through our department. But it is not applicable to every single rental unit throughout the city. At this time, it is only applicable to less than 5 units under one roof, and it does not apply to any owner-occupied dwelling units under that roof as well. It's going to be a very basic inspection that is very similar to a certificate of occupancy inspection, just for basic safety and health purposes. So we'll be looking at things like, does the smoke detector work? Do the doors and the windows open and close and lock? Does the water run? Does it have electricity? Is it safe to be in there? And that's the nuts and bolts of it. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to give the Board of Health a call, 908-474-8409, and I'll try to answer any questions that you have.
Okay. Thank you, Amy.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Virginia Malik?
Good evening. I just have a couple of questions pertaining to this memo that came out to taxpayers last year, and it was regarding to registering the occupants of the buildings or of that residence. And the first question that I have here, does everyone really know what I'm referring to?
Yeah, it's the same program that Amy
Right.
just, the rental.
The rental,
Registration.
okay. So the first question that I have is, how is this going to be enforced if someone owns a house, but they are not living in there, and they turned over management of the house to a property manager? If the person is not directly, doing things directly with that property management or with that property, how are we going to reinforce having another person or company that's doing this? That's the first question, to reinforce the registration of all the tenants. And then the second question, I have the wrong glasses on. The second question is, you're talking about you must also renew your registration with each change in occupancy. So when you talk about occupancy, if, let's say, person XYZ rents the house, is that the person for occupancy that you're really talking about, or if there are other people that are not actually on the lease, do they have to be accounted for in this registration? And then the third item is kind of related to the second item. Provide each occupant or tenant with a copy of the registration. Again, you may have one person's name on the lease, but you may have quite a few other people living in there. So can someone address this for me?
Okay.
Or they can take it offline, if someone can give me a name who I could address this to. I know you and I.
Amy Peluso from the Board of Health, you can.
Well, does she have any comments that she can make right now?
If you could take your seat, sure. I'll have her.
Council President?
Yes.
If I may. I just want to give you the genesis of this ordinance and why it's being enforced right now. What we've seen happening over the last year or so is that we have people who are buying property in Linden, and they are having multiple families living in one-family units. And what that does, it actually overburdens the school system, and then people are moving out, and they're putting trash outside. And so when you put trash outside, you got to call DPW, and DPW has to go, we have to put our manpower out there to retrieve that garbage. So what we're trying to do is curtail what we think is happening in town right now, and that is the overcrowding of the schools and people just abusing the rental system in town. So, and far be it from me, everybody knows that I'm the last person on earth who wants to tax residents in this town. I think we've got a pretty solid record with regards to holding back on raising taxes in this town. But this is something that we have to do, because if we don't, it's going to get out of control. And I'm hopeful that maybe, after we start employing some of these things, that maybe we can roll it back one day. But as for now, there's just too much going on. There's too many people who are 3 and 4 families in a one-family unit. They're overcrowding the schools. They're constantly calling the city to come pick up the trash. And again, this is costing us money. So the dollars that we're receiving here will hopefully we'll be able to hire people to better patrol and make sure that people aren't abusing their rights as landlords. And that's exactly what's happening here.
Amy, enforcement?
Yeah, so as to enforcement, we are developing the inventory of the houses that this ordinance applies to. We're in the process of doing that. In addition to that, I know you have a concern about the number of people who are living under one roof and people who are not on the actual lease living under one roof. One part of that ordinance does address the code enforcement official developing the maximum occupancy of these units as well. So that is something to be addressed. And I'm sorry, what was the first question? I'm not sure I quite understood.
The change of occupancy?
How do you enforce this? Let's say someone builds a house and that person decides they want nothing to
Okay,
do with
so
maintaining it, so it's turned over.
So finding out about it. Again, we're developing the inventory of the houses that we believe that this applies to, and I think, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think it's going to probably evolve much like a lot of our other programs where it's on a complaint basis as well. So we would go and have our enforcement as we normally do, and then if we get a call from somebody reporting something, then we would look into that as well.
Okay. It's Malik also questioned the registration change for occupancy?
I'm sorry?
Registration change for occupancy if somebody moves out?
Right, so if we have a change in who is occupying that, and that wouldn't mean just individual people moving in and out. For instance, if I am renting a 2-bedroom apartment and I have a roommate, my roommate leaves and I take in another roommate, they're not on the lease, I'm the person on the lease. It's the people on the lease that would be considered the change in occupancy.
So when they talk about the occupants of the house, that includes all the residents that are currently living there? It's not just the person on that lease?
As far as the maximum number of people who can be in there, that applies to that. But as far as a change of occupancy, it only applies to the people that are on that lease. That's who has responsibility, that is who has entered into that legal agreement to dwell within that space in exchange for however much money they are being charged for that. That is who is legally responsible for that space. And so if that lease ends and a new lease begins, and that new lease is in somebody else's name, and I think Dan could probably speak to that, what the legal definition of a change of occupancy is. I'm not a lawyer. I don't want to try to take over Dan's job. He does a good job of it. But my understanding is that is the legal definition of a change in occupancy. It's when the people who are actually entered into that illegal agreement leave and somebody else signs a new legal agreement and moves in. It doesn't pertain to additional people that may be there.
Amy, we also, Virginia questioned the copy of the registration for the tenant. Who's going to?
Just to see what we were saying. So the people that are in the house.
It's Malik. I would suggest maybe you meet with Amy.
Sure, we can talk offline about that for any
Okay.
additional questions that you have, or if anybody
Yes.
else has, they're
I'm
free
sure
to
she would have.
give a call. Sure.
Okay. Oh, the last one you questioned was the copy of the registration for the tenant. How would they receive that?
That would be given at the time of the inspection.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Amy. I'm sure Ms. Malik will be in touch with you.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, John Kazar?
John Kaiser, 23 West Monticello Avenue. Good evening, Linden. Happy New Year. 100 years, wow. That's awesome. Scary that I'm almost half as old as the city. So I had a lot of comments. I'm going to scrap them, though, because I always come up here and I say that the rules now are that there are no rules. This is public comment. There's not supposed to be questions, but since you're answering questions, I have one that I've been meaning to ask. The mayor has not been at the meetings when I've been at the same ones with him. So, and a lot of you are going to be spared. I had some tea in here. Anyway, so back in October, all right, the governor, this is a question about housing. The governor released the list of affordable housing, okay? It's a big issue in the state, right? Right now, we're looking at the 24-hour laundromat, the Kessler Rehab Center, all that over there in St. George. That's going next, and they're putting housing over there. All right, so a lot of municipalities pushed back against the state. Right? They were going to sue the state. I forget how many. I don't know if Linden was looking into that. Probably not. So they put a list out of how many affordable units per city, per municipality, each one has to put up in X amount of years or whatever. So Linden had a prospective need of 787 units, okay? My question is, why did the neighboring cities of Elizabeth, Roselle, and Rawway have a combined need of 0? What did they do in the past? What have they done to address the affordable housing issue that Linden has not? So whoever's ready to answer that, I'm here for it. What are we doing? I guess that's it. I mean, I still got more comments if you want.
Finish your comments then, please.
I can tell you this.
Mayor, let's have him finish his comments,
Okay.
please, and then I'll give you.
No, that's okay. We're here. I'll just hear the answers for this. Thank you.
I can tell you this, prior to me becoming mayor, the low to moderate income housing issue was never addressed, okay? So we were always mindful of the fact that we needed to address it, and so we are addressing it now, and I'm confident this governing body and my planning board and my officials who are responsible for this will come up with a solution that will be adequate and the state will accept it.
Okay, 787
Yeah,
in Linden.
that's a crazy number. Because
787 in Linden. Those three other cities combined, 0.
Okay, listen.
What did they do that we didn't?
Listen, the 787 number is they based the number on land, open space land, and unfortunately, some of the land that they're basing that number on is refinery and space that you can't build housing on. So there's an equation that they use, and a lot of it has to do with open land that's in your municipality. And Linden has a lot of open land, but it's unfortunately, it's uninhabitable. So we go back to the state and we show them the land that we cannot build on, and that number shall be adjusted. And we're working on that right now with our engineers and our planning officials, and we'll come up with a number that the state will find acceptable, and we will address it.
So how many units is being addressed at the laundromat?
Well, I can't give you that number right now because we don't have a real plan for that location right now. We've declared areas of St. George Avenue as areas that we refer to as an area of need of redevelopment, and we want to put our low-income housing there and our units there, and I'm certain that we will. But right now, we're just working with the state and we're working with our planners on how we could achieve what the state will deem acceptable.
Okay, thank you. On a serious note, though, an area of need and redevelopment, sir. Your property on East St. George Ave, 812 East St. George Ave,
Yeah.
that's an area in need of redevelopment. It hurts my heart that I'm feeding a homeless man that's living in front of the
Well,
mayor's.
listen,
Anybody that wants to go there, go to 812. Mike, I know you know Mike.
Let me respond.
Okay?
Let me respond.
It's 7 degrees out right now.
Let me respond, okay?
You got rid of Barbara. You took the bus stop out of City Hall to get rid of Barbara.
Okay, let me just talk a few minutes, okay? That gentleman, I've called several times, various agencies to try to get him help. He just keeps coming back, okay? I
know you can't force people to do stuff.
I can't force him. I tried, I haven't given food sometimes because I feel bad for him. His name is, he's a Yancey. I've known his family all my life, okay? But we're going to try to do everything when we can to help him as well.
He's going to die out there.
I hope not, you know what I mean? He's a victim of a horrific crime. Many years ago, he was assaulted, and he was hit in the head with a pipe, and so he hasn't been quite right since. And I feel bad for him, but in the same breath,
would.
I don't have housing for him.
I understand.
You know?
Yeah, you know what? Put some heat in there, put some beds, and there you go. Put use to your property.
Me and my family.
That's a bad look. It's a bad look, sir.
I know it is. Me and my family, we're going to get around to developing that property. And speaking of the 100-year anniversary, my grandfather was the original owner of that building. And just like the city was here for 100 years, my grandfather got here in 1927. So we'll be here for 100 years in 1927. And we have every intention on.
100-year banner then.
We have every intention on redoing that building. I bought that building for my sons, and they're going to do a great job with it. I'm glad I was able to hold on to it this long, and they're grown boys now, grown men now, and they have a nice building, a nice place that they can establish themselves and do something with. So don't worry. No, I'm serious. We're not going anywhere, and we're going to make sure.
I'm not worried about none of that. I'm worried about a homeless man sleeping out in 5-degree weather right now.
I'm worried about him too. So let's call social services. Instead of coming to the council meeting, you should have been on the phone with social services.
Should I have been?
To try to get him some help.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, right.
All right. Can we have a motion to close the public comment session, please?
I make a motion to close the public comments and ask for a second, please, quickly.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell?
Yes.
Mohammed? Yes. Rivas? Delgado?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak?
Yes.
Mrs. Yemakaitis?
Yes. Okay, we'll now move on to comments from members of the governing body. Okay, Councilman Mohammed?
I was remiss in welcoming Councilman Tila Delgado, fireball council. I bet it was in a very accurate discussion, and I know he will do a great job as council. So he said already, I thought he was council when I first met him. But thank you, Mr.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Javik?
I just want to say congratulations to our 6th Ward councilman. It's a pleasure working with you, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Ormond?
I'm going to say that in duplicate. Councilman Eloy Delgado, your personality, your enthusiasm is infectious. I mean, I am excited to have someone on this council with that type of personality. Live wire. The second comment that I'd like to make is to the gentleman who's putting his coat on. Yes, you. Great smile. But I want to personally say thank you, because in a world where we have such ungrateful people who really just can't even imagine what we do here as a council, the thanklessness that we often get. You came in today with an attitude of gratitude, and you gave me a little bit of hope for 2025. One of the mottos that I have always done through my years of customer service, I never call a manager, I never call a store and complain about the employee that's the absolute worst, because everybody does. But I always call and acknowledge that person that has given outstanding service, because they're the ones that always get overlooked. So today, sir, I thank you for acknowledging your councilwoman for what she did for you. There should be more people like you instead of all the complainers. God bless you, and please come next month with something good to say. There's a song, Tell Me Something Good. Come next month and tell me something good.
All right, anyone else?
Yeah,
Okay, Councilman Strano?
Yeah, I'd be remiss if I did not congratulate my new neighbor, and welcome aboard, and look forward to working with you as well. And also, I would like to acknowledge our new business administrator, Natisha Clark. Thank you, and look forward to working with you in the future as well, too. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mayor? Okay.
It's all about services and being responsive to your constituents. And Monique, she's very responsive to her, Councilman Caldwell, should I say, not Monique. She's very responsive, and I encourage all my council members to be responsive. If somebody needs something, you return the phone call and you try to address their concerns. That's what this is all about, you know, and also trying to keep taxes stable while we do it.
Exactly. Okay, Councilman Delgado.
I just want to say thank you to my dad, who's in the audience. He's the hardest working man that I know, and it's where I get my work ethic from. My brother, he's been my champion supporter since day one. My better half, thank you for dealing with me the last few days and my craziness. And to all of my cherished friends, family, whether I know you from college, Linden, LEA, theater, all of you being here, you know me the best. Truly means the world to me, since you can validate that I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure that the residents of the 6th Ward are well represented. And I also just want to say, Mommy couldn't be here tonight, but I pray and hope that at future events she will be able to attend. And anyone that knows me knows that my mom is my heart and soul, and she gave me my strong ethical core. So thank you very much, Mommy. And you could also see me at St. John's the Episcopal Church, which has centered me down by McManus. I'm there every Sunday. Thank you, everyone, and God bless.
Congratulations again. Anyone else? More? Okay. All right. The next council meetings will be as follows. There is no Monday night conference meeting due to President's Day holiday. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting Tuesday, February 18th, 2025 at 5 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall. Council meeting Tuesday, February 18th at 7 p.m. in the council chambers. These meetings will be held in person. Can we have a motion to adjourn, please?
I make a motion to adjourn, Council President, and ask for a second.
Second.
Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Caldwell? Mohammed? Rivas? Delgado? Strano? Armstead?
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Hudak? Mrs. Yamakaitis?
Yes.